Mark Harris of North Carolina. Congressman, thank you very much for your time this morning. I know you've... Good morning. I know you've been in support of the president taking on this Iran threat and getting any deal on the table. It's been a major challenge up to this point that continues. How confident are you that a deal is actually signed on Friday to kick off that 60-day negotiation period?
Well, it's great to be with you this morning, Kelly, and thank you for having me. I am confident. I might use that term cautiously optimistic. Because we are continuing to deal with Iran, and we know that they're not the most good faith players when it comes to negotiations, it seems. But it does seem that we are closer than we've ever been before. When you've got Pakistan making that announcement, you actually have the Iranian government saying that we've got this deal and that we're this memorandum of understanding, if you will, and it's going to be signed on Friday. All of that is positive. And I'm very, very confident that we're going to get there. And, you know, I think it is a good deal from what we're seeing. Of course, we're going to have to wait and see more of the details as they come out. But there's no question America is now in a much stronger place, and Iran is a much weaker place than they have been previously. I mean, think about Iran for a moment. Their Air Force has been decimated. Their Navy has been decimated. Their top leadership has been eradicated and removed from the scene. And so here we are in a position, I think, of really taking strong leadership and getting the deal done. So I'm confident, I believe.
Well, it's certainly an optimistic tone from the administration, but you do have others who have supported the president in this mission as well. Senator Lindsey Graham is one of them. He supports the president's objectives in Iran. But in recent hours, he posted this on X in part, quote, "I'm somewhat concerned that Iran's view of the agreement seems different than what the American negotiating team is claiming." And there are many who share that concern. The president has said this agreement with Iran includes a wall to no nuclear option. What do the terms need to include in your mind to ensure at least that specific objective?
Well, I think the president made it clear as we went into this negotiation that it was going to have to involve action more than just words. Obviously, he said the two major things that we were looking for is making sure that Iran would never have a nuclear weapon. And that includes getting the 900 pounds of enriched uranium out of the country. And that's still critical. And I think that's part of the negotiations over the next 60 days is how that is going to be removed, whether it's going to be destroyed within Iran or whether it's going to be exported out and taken care of. So the president wants to make sure, number one, there's no nuclear weapon. Number two, he wants to make sure that the Strait of Hormuz is open and remains open and that Iran no longer holds the world economy hostage over being able to go through that strait. And I think both of those are headed toward accomplishment. There are other things that I think that are going to be important as we go forward, making sure that they don't have a program that they could militarily ever in any way, shape, or form achieve that nuclear weapon. And again, that's probably why I use the words cautiously optimistic. And I think that's probably what Senator Graham is pointing to, is Iran's going to claim one thing. And here's the big deal, Kelly, actually, is who's going to win out in Iran at the end of the day. Because you've got the IRGC that's operating on a war footing that just wants to constantly fight and probably wants to break apart any peace agreement that we would have. Then you've got the government that they're working with some of the leadership they're negotiating with. And I've said all along, that's the real challenge, is who's going to win out from Iran's side in the negotiations that are taking place because they are so splintered right now.
Right. And there seems to be agreement that the trust but verify being the key word, that is the sort of approach the U.S. and our allies potentially will need to take in all of this. We have Secretary of War Pete Hegseth on another network. This is what he said about what needs to happen now.
It's performance-based. No money released to Iran until they perform. There's no trust and verify. There's no trust here, and we're going to verify everything.
Do you have concerns about any of the assets the president has talked about being unfrozen? Because the major thought then is that Iran's regime would work to immediately reboot militarily.
I am concerned about that. And I think that the Secretary is exactly correct in his assessment. And I think the president knows how to make a deal well enough that it's going to be clear, unless they are performing, unless they're meeting their end of the bargain, that we cannot lift sanctions. We cannot unfreeze assets. We cannot put money in their hands that enables them. Listen, that's what they've done. I know that folks on the other side have tried to say, well, this is really no different than what the Obama administration came up with. It's very different, because I don't see stockpiles of cash being dropped into Iran, even in this agreement that we've got. So I am confident the administration and our negotiators are going to make sure that unless things are verified, I like to think trust and verify, but again, it's the Iranians. You can't even use the word trust. It's just going to be verify, verify, verify that they're keeping their commitments.
Well, that certainly seems to be the sentiment echoed by the Secretary of War there. We will stay tuned, of course. Congressman Mark Harris, great to have you weighing in. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you.